Hello, eTech. I'm coming to you from Huron, Ohio. I'm not there with you, but I certainly wish I was. I'm sure that you're learning a lot about ways to use technology in the classroom, and I'm positive that the connections you're making in eTech today are going to help promote your students' learning and promote your own professional growth for a while to come. So I've been thinking about a topic for a while, and I thought I'd share it with you in a very short video. Here goes. As a 5th grade science teacher in Huron, Ohio, I have opened up my classroom to other classrooms and professionals around the country. I'm wondering, as I make these class connections, if the work that we're doing and the interactions that we're having, if these class connections can possibly change the direction of my students' lives. Most educators are starting to see the potential in using social media like Twitter, blogging, Google Hangout, Skype, in order to build their professional tool belt. And we're learning that connecting with people has become easier and easier. And so I thought, why not use those same tools in combination to connect my students in Huron to students and professionals around the world? What I think it really comes down to is I know that my students are having fun with science, they're learning, and they're exploring their understanding of the world around them. And so how do I take what they're learning and what they're exploring and have them share it with others and have them look at the world and compare to experiences that other students are having around the country? And that's where all that technology comes in.
You can Skype and you can share ideas with people about facts about rovers, and you can drag pictures and any videos you want to show people how cool they are.
Twitter helps us in class by telling other classes like what we did on Skype, saying what we are learning about.
Edmodo is a good thing to use in classrooms because we can talk about things that we're learning about and share and interact with other students.
I think using Skype is really fun because you can talk to people and you can see them and hear them even though if they're far distanced away or close and you're not there to be right there with them. So I think it's pretty cool using Skype.
Good.
That with the rover project, you have to have a lot of patience, and what else?
You have to have a lot of teamwork too.
Oh, I bet. You would have to work well with each other to get all of that done.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever get upset with each other while y'all were...
Did you guys get upset with each other sometimes?
Yeah.
That's like... Did y'all build that?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all are such smart people.
And we hooked up a wire and it.
Okay, so there's the real obvious benefits of these Skype calls, where students are interacting with each other and they're talking about content and they're sharing what they're learning. And so the content builds, and that's the obvious benefit. Whether your students are reading each other's work or whether they're partnering up and collecting data, they could be debating ideas and concepts or designing new products together. It could be a sharing of artwork, music, performances. They could even just be comparing their communities and habitats and looking at ecology around them. The content continues to get more complex. Now the learning becomes a more collective process, more and more minds working together. And it could be between classrooms, or it could be between classroom and professionals, or between classroom and different areas of the community. But it becomes more powerful in more and more voices linking together and sharing their ideas. This is where my what if happens. What if by pulling these experiences, ideas, and information from all areas leads to a greater understanding of the content but even more, a greater understanding of each other. Students learning more about their learning and learning more about others who are going through some of the very same processes and experiencing some of the very same experiences. What if this greater understanding of each other leads to a greater respect for each other and a greater amount of kindness towards each other? Could this mean that we are leading towards greater progress overall, and that we're breaking down some of the stereotypes and we're breaking some of those harmful cycles that happen in communities and in our schools? By opening our doors with these classroom connections, are we allowing them to see around the world and get a deeper understanding for the human experience itself? I guess what I'm asking is, does it matter? Do we need to build these connections? Do we need to foster this communication? Do we need to share between classrooms? And do we need to invite the community and invite experts into our classroom? And I think it does matter. I think we do need to build these connections, because I'm going to propose that through these connections, these moments that students have could possibly change the direction of their lives. Listening to each other and exploring ideas, I think it's a connection that could potentially lead them down a path that they may never have even considered. A student sharing about electrical circuitry may have never known that they could explain it so well. And maybe that leads to a confidence builder that enables them to go deeper into that engineering career. Or maybe a student sharing their poem and getting a positive feedback from another student says, you know what, I do know how to write, and I can write even better next time. My students heard from teachers all day today that they were smart cookies and that they were just really doing great things. And what were they saying as they left the room? We need to do that even more. So I guess my main message is these class connections, they're fun. And it's awesome that I can get them to talk about science, and I can get them to talk about their learning and what they still want to know. But I think that maybe it'll go even further than this. The connections that they make, if it's on Edmodo, if it's through Twitter or Skype, these are the connections that may possibly make them more aware of the world around them. It may possibly help them understand the other people in their community, and it may lead them down a path that they may not have even considered before that connection. So, does it matter? I think it does. I think these class connections could possibly change some lives. So I'm going to ask you to make these class connections. Look on Twitter, look on Edmodo, look through Skype. But find those classrooms that build your students' confidence, and find those classrooms that are willing to share and grow and learn. Because you never know, the opportunity that you give these children to speak and share and learn from each other may make the difference and may help change the direction of their lives.